Good evening, Los Angeles. Somebody told me I was in Los Angeles. Good evening, Los Angeles. Good. You see, my mother figured me out early. I was about 3 years old. She knew I was going to be some kind of political leader or something. She said that even when I would ride my tricycle through the neighborhood, that I would only play if the other kids decided to follow me.
My mom took me to my first NAACP meeting when I was 14. I decided to take along a book because I figured I'd be bored from all the old people. But when I got there, they were engaged and energized and young. That was the spark. I organized my first political campaign in high school when we tried to get an African American Heritage Club. The principal said no, and we lost. But I learned.
My first campaign was early, too. When I was 12 years old, I started a petition to get Doritos in the school vending machine. Nacho cheese Doritos. We lost. They said it was bad for our nutrition. I said it was a great experience, though.
It was the Atlanta 10G project that finally did it for me. We had set out to register over 10,000 18 to 35-year-olds. I find out on the day of the election that one of the campuses that we had organized hundreds of students, 30 had actually voted. I was crushed. I remember driving home one night thinking, this isn't working. I've got to do more. And then it hit me. I need to run for office. The state legislature.
State legislature, huh? They told my mom I had a learning disability. They said I needed to be put in special classes. My mother, the school bus driver, clutching her purse and her fake pearls, declared that her son may be special, but he ain't that special. I buckled down, school all day in the library after school. By the time 8th grade came around, it was accelerated courses and honors programs. And then college came, and the world opened up. Florida A&M University, where a skinny kid like me from Gainesville, Florida, found himself taking on the governor of the great state of Florida, Jeb Bush. Not once, but twice.
So when I told people I was going to run for state representative, they said, "Ah, that is so cute. You are adorable." An African-American woman winning in Cobb County, the place that brought us Newt Gingrich and Bob Barr. My first campaign manager was an older white man. Quite the political experience, and I figured I was lucky to have him. That wasn't until about 2 weeks later when he dropped me as a candidate, put a white man in the race with the same last name, and then filed a residency challenge against me.
Round one with Governor Jeb Bush came my sophomore year. I was the student body president and the only student member of the University Board of Trustees. I had learned that the governor invited himself to be my commencement speaker. My commencement speaker. I was outraged. I then found myself on the anniversary of the March on Tallahassee, declaring at the top of my lungs that the governor of the state of Florida was not welcome at my graduation, that he didn't represent us, and that if he showed up, we would stand or turn our backs on him just as he had turned his back on us. Headlines all over the state, newspapers, and all of a sudden, nobody wanted to sit next to me at a Board of Trustee meeting anymore. Cell phone calls went unreturned. They told me at the age of 19 that I was washed up in the state of Florida.
So my new campaign manager was a 21-year-old student at Morehouse, and I was 23. Didn't have a whole lot of political backing and very little money. They said it was impossible for me to win. My skin was too dark, my age was too young, and my ideas way too liberal. But we started knocking on doors and talking to people about the issues that they cared about. I got 65% of the vote and became the first African American to serve in the legislature from Cobb County.
So round two with Governor Jeb Bush came my senior year. I was getting ready to get out of school, graduate, and then all of a sudden, the governor said that affirmative action in the state of Florida was no longer necessary. That whole racism thing, it was way behind us. We were incensed. And 3,000 strong, we marched on the state capitol. We got their attention. They backed up, and it felt great.
We won and kept on winning. They changed my district. Heck, they tried to change the rules, and we still kept winning. I am serving my constituents, and I am still there.
You remember that whole idea of being washed up at the age of 19 in the state of Florida? Well, he was wrong. He was wrong because Sharon Letman at People for the American Way Foundation hired me right out of college to be a field organizer, registering voters throughout the state of Florida. The stories I heard, people feeling like their voices didn't matter, people fearing that they lose their jobs if they registered to vote. We gave them power. It was the most fulfilling experience that I'd ever had to date. And then Sharon asked me to consider running for the Tallahassee City Commission. And I did, and we ran, and I won, becoming the youngest ever elected official in the city of Tallahassee in a 76% white district.
Now, we both work for People for the American Way Foundation and for a great new project called the Young Elected Officials Network, bringing together young electeds like me and like Andrew, who are progressive in age 35 and under.
Young elected officials and our story, we're not alone. There are more young people out there who are just like Alisha and I. Tonight, Alisha and I want to thank you very, very much from the bottom of our hearts for allowing us and enabling us to do this work in this great progressive movement.
And please know that the right wing has been doing this for decades, creating networks for people like Ralph Reed and Karl Rove since they were young Republicans together. But the good news is, it's now our turn. So together with our campus project Young People For, we are now nurturing a new generation of progressive leaders. So join us.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former president of the Motion Picture Association of America and a Spirit of Liberty honoree, Jack Valenti.